Guys, we are back, and I just learned that there was some explosive testimony that came out with the one of the key witnesses, Sean Kelly. Without any further ado, let me bring on our legal analyst, Miss Pam Campbell. Pam,
Hello.
what's going on, Pam? Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. What happened? Tell me. Let's get right into
I
it.
told you guys that I was waiting on Sean Kelly, who was the independent witness, but there was way more information than what has been out about Sean Kelly. So Sean Kelly was the first witness called today. He's still not finished with his testimony. I think it's because it didn't quite go the way the defense thought that it was going to go. So Sean Kelly, he basically confirmed that there was a fight between Kelsey and Megan. He said he lives where he lives. They showed a picture of the fight happening in his back, like a driveway alley behind his home. He said they were fighting violently. And then he said eventually everyone gets out the car and it looks like everyone is fighting. But what the defense was trying to bring out was that he never saw, Sean Kelly never saw a gun. But what he did say was the first time he saw the muzzle flash, he thought it was fireworks. But he said it was next to the two girls when he saw the muzzle flash. So we're like, oh, okay, so that's why they brought him up. So then he said later what the defense was trying to establish is that he heard the gunshots before Tory even got out of the vehicle.
Okay, real quick.
But that
Real quick. You said they. Who are they? Who are the they? The fighting. Who is they? The fighting.
that Mr. Kelly and his son, they were both in the home. And what was trying to be established is that from the defense is that Mr. Kelly heard gunshots before Tory even came out the vehicle. That's what they keep going back and forth because apparently when the prosecutor got on, they brought up statements and said, no, you said that they were all tussling and you saw the muzzle shots, I guess, closest to the girls when you first saw it. But everybody, Sean Kelly said everybody was out there fighting. Everybody was acting like a whole fool. But what he did say that we weren't prepared for was he saw Tory. He saw 4 to 5 shots come from where Tory Lanez was. He said he did see that. Regardless to whether they say a girl may have shot him first, this man has established that he saw at least 4 gunshots. He said he saw an object waving in the air in Tory Lanez's hand, a shorter guy, that's what he called him. He said, and he saw the flashes from the muzzle 4 times. He said that he seemed like a torrent person. He was enraged. He was very angry. But what really came out that we weren't expecting is they said after Meg got shot, she crawled and limped over across the street. This witness said that all 3 of the people, that's the driver, that's Kelsey and Tory, they started going over there and beating up Meg even further, and she was in a fetal position, taking all these shots. He assumed that after they beat her up, they was gonna try to throw her away and get rid of her body because of how bad he felt like they were trying to kill her. And he said eventually the bigger guy, which
Quan.
is Quan, the driver, he said they've called the police. We got to get in the car. So they pretty much picked her up and put her in the car, and they drove off.
Explosive testimony. This is the defensive witness. This is a major problem for the defense. You're telling me the defense witness has established that Tory Lanez was the shooter.
Basically, what they're trying to do, the defense, they're trying to show. But you said the first time you heard the shots, it was first from the girls because the 2 girls were fighting.
How do you impeach your own witness?
He actually, when this man did not testify in accordance to what I think they expected, this is how I know that he didn't. The defense asked to treat him as a hostile witness.
I
It
didn't know
wasn't
that.
like he was acting hostile in any way. He just wasn't acting, I think, the way you expected it. And the judge, of course, denied that.
Okay, so Quan picks up Megan, carries her to the car. This is explosive. So we see why Quan may not be there. This is not good for the defense. This is the witness that I wanted to hear from who could establish who the hell was fighting Megan.
Well, it started out with Megan Kelsey. He said it was a violent type of a fight. It sounds like, because it's a little discrepancy on who was in the car at what time, but it sounds like after the fight, Meg was in the car, and he just described Meg never stopped kicking, like she was just trying to defend herself. She's just kicking and kicking, and all four of them were fighting. He couldn't tell who was doing what. They all were fighting, cussing, calling each other names, and all of that. But eventually, like I said, the bombshell for me was that there was additional violence. So the 911 call, that's why it pretty much mentioned a fight between two girls. That's what the 911 call was from.
Okay, Pam, let's be honest. This is a game changer.
It is.
This is a game changer of the highest power. You got the witness who balcony, and they described. Let's talk about where was his line of vision, the witness from the incident.
He was right. His house, they showed he had two double windows in the back of the house. He can literally look out through the window, and he saw and he heard everything. Then he had a balcony, which was over to the right from where his vision was, and he went over on the balcony as well at some point. So he had good view. He said they were calling. He said that Tory, they all were cussing each other out, but Tory just happened to be the loudest. He called her all type of, MFers and N-words and all of that. But he said they all were going off on each other. My thing is, I get the defense is trying to establish that. Well, you said the first time you saw a muscle, it was with Kelsey. And I guess what they're trying to establish is only Tory was trying to take the gun away from her. And that's how the shots happened. But that's not how Sean Kelly is testifying. He's testifying it could have been a struggle in between them. It was so much mayhem going on. But I saw him just shoot wherever, shoot.
Well, that's the crux of the case. You have established who the shooter was. So we have three different individuals who has put a gun in Tory's hand. You have Kelsey in the interview. You have Megan on the stand, and now you have Mr. Kelly on the stand. This is a game changer, ladies and gentlemen.
I think the whole premise of the defense just trying to say who shot first, that doesn't take away his charges. He's not, it doesn't take away from his culpability, because the gun was placed in your hand and you were shooting, and it was a lot of yelling going on. And then the defense tried to establish, did you hear dance, bitch, dance, or whatever that phrase is? He said, no, I didn't hear that, but it was a lot of arguing, cussing, yelling. So we can put in the minds of the juror, he just ain't hear it being said. Well, but the fact that they all ganged up on her, I thought was horrendous.
Why didn't Megan?
Allegedly.
Okay, so I sat there for Megan's testimony. She didn't say that they all jumped her and was kicking on her. Was it that she was in shock? We don't know. But apparently, there was more than just a bump happening.
And she was, she was drunk too. So does she even recall everything that happened to her on that day? Because we had EJ testify yesterday that she was at that faded period. That's one of the reasons why he wanted her to leave out of there when that slide mark was made to Kylie. So she was to a point where he felt like it was unsafe for her to. So she was drunk, even though she's usually, I guess, a functioning type of drunk person is what he said. He said, but she has levels to it, and she was at that high level.
Okay, so the meat of his testimony is damning for the defense. I don't know how they're going to recover. I don't know what the cross will be. But at this point, you've made your defense witness a hostile witness, which tells me they're in trouble. The defense is in trouble right now. Ladies and gentlemen, you've gotten it firsthand from the courtroom. Pam Campbell just revealed that Sean Kelly put the gun in Tory Lanez's hand. Now, how crazy is this?
It was unexpected. It was definitely unexpected, but I knew it was important for us to hear his testimony today. That's why I said today is very important.
And so this, again, is a problem. And I don't know why the defense called him in the first place. Should let the prosecution call. And then he could have crossed.
But the prosecution didn't even call him. That's what's tripping me out.
Okay, so is this Is it?
Oh,
Is
the
this?
prosecution did rest. I forgot to start out with that. I got so overwhelmed with Sean Kelly's
Well,
testimony.
no,
I
no,
forgot to
no.
say they rested.
This is a point to rest. Uh, so I'm thinking Quan might be in legal jeopardy as well. Now that you have someone who's established that there was an attack on Megan. So my question is, she gets shot. Why would Kelsey be beating her up when they both left the car together? It's something we have to see what happens during the continuation. It has the defense turned over the witness to the prosecution for a cross.
Yeah, it's been back and forth. They've crossed, they've recrossed, they've redirected, they've recrossed, and they've redirected. It's been going back and forth because, like I said, the defense is trying to establish. But you said, sir, and he's sounding angry. That's why I'm like, you gotta be careful with your demeanor because you letting people see you sweat. That you wasn't prepared for this. When you asked to call him as a hostile witness, I was like, no.
Oh no! Once that is established, I thought they was going to call Kelsey as a hostile witness because of her refuting what she said in the interview. But I don't know. This is not looking good. Not looking good, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it first. Sean Kelly, the defense witness, has put a gun in Tory Lanez's hand and saw 4 shots being fired. That is a bombshell testimony.
Well, he said an object in his hand with the muzzle when he saw the sparks from the muzzle. But he was being clear. I didn't say I saw a gun, but I did see the object in his hand. But of course, his son found a casing, I guess, in the yard. So that came up
So
as
that's
well.
missing casing. Ladies and gentlemen, we reported that there were 4 casings found. There were 5 shots. The son found the 5th casing. That
He
is
said the son found the casing, but part of it too was he was concerned for his son when he, realized they were shooting, and so he had his son get down. So, he mentioned that as well. He got real towards the end. You can tell he was a little traumatized by this.
absolutely. You got shooting outside your neighborhood. I would be. Now, let me ask you a question. Let's talk about the witnesses per se. Let's talk about Sean Kelly. What is his background? How old is he? Give me some background on the witness.
Sean Kelly is an older gentleman. He looks like he may be in his 50s, 60s. Not older like that, but you know what I'm saying. 50, 60-ish. He's a white male, um, all white hair. He has an accent like a European type of an accent, maybe a Canadian accent. He has some type of accent like the dialect. And he just seems just matter of fact with, yeah, well, it was this, it was that. He's just saying what and he's correcting when the defense is trying to, put words in his mouth. He was really correcting them on what he saw, what he didn't see, and how everything happened. But I'm telling you, the gasp in the courtroom when he said they were beating her up and she was in a fetal position across the street and she was not fighting back. At that point, she couldn't fight back anymore.
Pam, thank you very much. I appreciate the update. And go back in. Let me know how to end this. Is that the only witness for today? No, is that the only witness that testified for this
This
case?
morning, and that's just because Sean Kelly is gonna be the first witness after lunch. We were hoping it wasn't gonna happen because they're going over the same questions now at this point
Well,
and
he's the
trying
only
to
one.
get him.
So my question is, he's the only witness to testify.
No, I told you the police officers are supposed to still testify.
No. My question is, no one else testified up until this point.
No. Yes, correct.
All
He's
right.
the only one that has testified all morning, and he'll be who we start with after lunch.
All right. Well, I'll be looking forward to the update. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Pam Campbell, defense attorney, legal analyst. I'm Dennis Byron. We'll be right back. Well, she'll be right back. I'm still here. Ladies, gentlemen, what do you think about this testimony? What do you think about this testimony? You have the defense witness that has helped the prosecution. This is incredible. 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 I don't know. I just don't know. This is just the nail in the coffin, so to speak. How do you get past the witness who's independent of everybody, who's a defense witness? How do you get past that? How do you get past that? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to Instagram now. This is incredible, unbelievable, but this is why I say we must hear all the evidence before we come to a conclusion. Interesting. But ladies and gentlemen, until the next break, we'll see you later. Hey, I'm back. Why would I be disappointed? This is the evidence. I can't be disappointed. I want to hear all the evidence. And this is what it is. This is what it is. I have no dog in this fight. Ladies and gentlemen, this is so damning for the defense, and they got to figure this out. Is there a plea deal offer possible at this point? I don't know. We'll find out.